I ask you this question, which I always ask any leader that I work with. Tell me about a challenge you're facing right now, right? So it is not esoteric, it's not theoretical, it's not another management theory. Like life is a perfect teacher in a way. It always showers us with fierce grace. Like I'm walking this morning in 110 degrees Fahrenheit and it's fall, right? I have a conflict with my colleague. Those are my fierce grace challenges. So what are yours? Think about what those are. Think about what those are and think about one, right? Because that's the one that is your opportunity for greater connectedness. Because what our mind wants to do first is wants to block out things that we don't want to engage with, the hard stuff. But by doing so, because we're much wiser than we give ourselves credit, we disconnect from reality. We're not intimate, as a Zen monk says, with the 10,000 things. We are like trying to shield ourselves. And in that way, we give our power away because part of us is in conflict with ourselves, right? We're like, oh, no, no, no. And we make this up and we put a nice facade on. So that's the first thing. What's the challenge? And the second question is, and this is deep self-honesty, right? This is not phoning it in, and you may not want to share this with your colleagues tomorrow, and maybe you do. It depends on how much safety you have and how much trust you have. Think about what are the ways which you typically disconnect yourself, from your values, from others, and from your purpose. Like what are the things? And there's usually some flavor of obsessing, overthinking, worrying. Stuff to do with the relationship, judging ourselves and others, and something about trying to control. These are usually the flavors. There's something about fear in it. There's something about fight, flight, freeze in it. And there's probably something about an image you have about who you should be. That's a really important question. Who you should be that keeps you from being fully engaged with this challenge, right? So, give you an example. It's 110 outside. One of the images that I have is I should be perfect and I should know the answer. That's an old image I have. And if I give into this thinking, I worry, I start to think like, what do I need to do? And I forget that I'm on this planet with 8 billion other people and that it may not be just up to me, right? Or with my colleague, I may just go into, I should perfectly script the conversation before I even have the conversation. So that's the second question. What's the challenge? Second is, how do I disconnect? And you take this as far as you want, right? We don't stay there. The third question then is, who would you be without those disconnectors? Like, who would you be without that? Like, because all of this stuff is mind gobbledygook. Our mind is desperately often, because the primary function of our nervous system is survival.
Yes.
It's not learning. It's not growth. It's not love. It's not peace. It is freaking simple survival, right? So if I'm like giving into that gobbledygook, then I have some reality where I'm trying to not be as effective with this challenge. So I say, who would I be without this gobbledygook? Not making it wrong, or that, oh yeah, who would I be without all this thinking? And I might discover something like peace. I really ask you to sit with this question. It's not a discussion question, it's a contemplative question. Who would you be without that? Peace, maybe more empathetic, maybe a bit more courageous, maybe a bit more curious. Maybe there's a sense of discovery about that. So when I walk in that weather, I'm like, what's there for me to do? Well, the first thing is to practice deep acceptance. Hylke is not going to change September 26, 2024. That's not my job. My job is somehow to see if I can make any contribution that September 26, 2034 might look a little different without becoming grandiose or the world star. So it's like, now I'm like putting myself, like, notice there's energy coming, like,
yeah,
like that. So that's the next question. Like, who would I be without that? And then the question that comes after that is, what do I commit? How do I reconnect myself? What are my values? How will I practice that? What do I stand for? Like that. So that's That's, you could say, is the very simple frame in a nutshell. What's your challenge? Don't shy away from it. Be honest. How do you disconnect yourself? What would it be like if you let go of that thinking? And then what values do you choose? How do you choose to connect to this?